strikes me that the ad industry is kind of bifurcating in some ways when you think about the different kinds of models on offer. So on the one hand, we have the rise of programmatic, super targeted, super efficient, guaranteed targeting and spending. And then on the other, and that's very scientific, and we have the rise of the maths men as opposed to the mad men. And then on the other hand, you have the emergence of content, native advertising, sponsored content. How do you kind of square that, and how do you advise your clients on which of those formats to use at any particular time, and can the two be used in unison?
I think it's important to make sure we're defining what we're talking about correctly. So just to echo the points of Reece and Nicholas in the previous panel, programmatic should be articulated in the form of a marketing message and a story, and telling that story and advising our clients on how to tell that story online and digital. And so when we talk about programmatic, it's all about the using data and analytics across inventory and decisioning on that inventory by an impression basis. Data is the fuel for that, and we're using RTB as the protocol. And I think it's all about packaging up the differences between whether you're talking about DR products or brand products, whether you're talking about VOD, but doing it in a message that can be articulated well to the client.
So do you think the fact that you had to sort of step in and kind of define what programmatic is there, does that suggest there is a definition problem? So I was helping out the Guardian Changing Advertising Summit recently, and it struck me the level of awareness of programmatic was relatively low. I saw a stat come out of it saying that only 20% of attendees knew what it was, and that surprised me, since I think many of the attendees were advertising people, brand people. Do you think the communication industry has a communication problem around programmatic?
Absolutely, and I think the way that we describe programmatic in display and the way that we describe programmatic in VOD is very different, but actually it should be the same. It is automation. Now the level of adoption of programmatic within display is a lot more, given the fact that we're in an environment of oversupply, and there is a lot of premium publishers embracing programmatic and real-time bidding. There's a long mid-tail and there's a long tail. However, in a scarce market such as VOD, the question is, do premium publishers need ad exchanges? Actually, right now, probably not. They're integrated into agencies, and they're integrated into premium sources of demand, and there's actually not a necessity to use ad exchanges in the market.
Mm-hmm. So what then is the dream workflow for you when it comes to video and programmatic?
I think it's using data in the right way. I mentioned data as the fuel, and our partnership with Videology across VOD over the last 3 years has enabled us to be a lot more integrated in the way that we deliver messages online. So I think for me, it's not just looking at that VOD channel, it's how that VOD channel can be run concurrently with display, with mobile, with search, with social, and articulating it as a marketing message back to the client and ultimately the consumer.